David Icke, he's kind of done ayahuasca. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort my shoe out here. So foot slipped out of my sandal. He's done ayahuasca. He's had an awakening of some sort, right? He's had an experience of oneness. He's been shown that we're all kind of this soup of consciousness, existing within, bottles, bodies and senses and whatever. But ultimately, we are at some level energetically and consciously all linked. And yet he's gone back out and he's still fighting the elite, fighting the hierarchies, fighting the cabal, fighting the club, right? And he's trying to convince everyone that they're wrong and he's right. But he's missing the point. He's coming from fear. He's coming from fear too. So at some level, he's still gripped by a level of fear. If you say, I am fearless, I will stand in front of all enemies, I'm happy to die for whatever, I'm not fearing anything, then you're still, in some level, controlled by an ego of fear, okay? Because you're not seeing the point, okay? You're not seeing the truth of the way that your consciousness is trapped by these demons. They are masters of deception. Masters of deception. They are the most amazing adversaries you will ever come up against. If you want to grow, if you want to learn and really grow as a soul, you need an adversary. They're not your enemy, they're your adversaries. They're your opponents. Like playing chess, yeah? So you treat them as an opponent, you treat them as an adversary. And sometimes you get caught, and you go, oh, you got me there. And sometimes you don't get caught. And sometimes you manage to liberate yourself from the adversary. So, kind of gone off on various tangents, but to be or not to be, that is the question. Yeah, that is the question. Whether it is noble in the mind to suffer a bit, yeah? Enjoy your suffering. Or to take arm and fight without fear against a sea of troubles, in which case, yes, you're just feeding the other side of the pendulum. And by opposing, Shakespeare says, end them. Do you really end them? No, of course you don't end them. You can be on antidepressants your whole life, right? You can be on whatever comfort blanket you decide to kind of feed yourself with your whole life. And it still won't end the fact that you've got a demon of ego, of fear or anxiety or whatever you want to call it, or lust or gluttony or greed or pride within you. You're missing the point. You're masking it. You're putting a mask on, yeah? Because at some level, you're not ready to see that. And that's okay. Not everyone is ready, yeah? The truth, like it did for me, and I'm not saying I'm there, right? But like it did for me, when I do get certain revelations and light bulb moments, will set you free. But it will really fucking piss you off. It will piss you off first, because you'll realise how much of your precious energy you've pissed up against a wall trying to affect out there. Trying to convince other people that you're right and they're wrong. Trying to create permanent levels of joy in your life when ultimately that's impossible. Because we live in a cosmos which acts like a pendulum. There is a dualism to it. There is a right and wrong, left and right. There's a polarity. So you're never, ever, ever going to remain in a permanent state of happiness or whatever by attempting to control your outer circumstances, which again comes from fear, right? So I'll finish with Yoda's most famous quote, which I quote all the time, because he was the great master, and it's gone all black now because the sun's pretty much going down. He says, fear is the path to the dark side. And look, it's gone dark. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger and frustration and whatever other things it might lead to. Control, yeah? Anger leads to hate, yeah? And hate leads to more suffering. So by not suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, and taking arm against the sea of troubles, and hopefully by opposing end them, potentially you're going to fall into the trap of creating more suffering for yourself, which will require even more of your energy to oppose it and end it. To die is the answer. Die to the psychology. Die to who you think you are. Die, 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 and sleep no more. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And with that, I leave you until the next video. Take care.